Allow me to introduce myself. I am Natalie, a 40-year-old single mother navigating the vibrant streets of New York. For years, I've nurtured Mice and Mason, who has blossomed into a remarkable 23-year-old. Our bond is profound, and one particularly chilly winter night, the air was thick with unspoken emotions. Mason returned home, weary from the demands of work and school, his fatigue evident. I gently proposed that he take a moment to rest in my bed, where I settled beside him, the air thick with unspoken intimacy. He nestled closer, seeking the warmth of our shared intimacy. He enveloped me in his embrace, cradling me tenderly, reminiscent of the way he used to when we were both younger. Initially, it seemed ordinary, just a mother soothing her son, enveloped in an aura of serenity. We lingered in that moment. An unfamiliar, tantalizing tension began to weave its way through the air. The room was steeped in silence, save for the rhythmic pulse of my own heartbeat echoing in the stillness. Mason's breath became languid, and I wondered if he was drifting into slumber. But then he leaned in, his arm encircling her with an intoxicating closeness. Around me, time seemed to stand still, leaving me in a state of uncertainty about what to do next. Part of me yearned to retreat into the shadows, yet another part remained anchored, captivated by the moment. In that moment, an unforeseen sensation washed over me. A tension beneath the blanket made my heart race as I struggled to remain composed, reminding myself that Mason was merely my son. Perhaps he was blissfully unaware, lost in the passage of time as the moments slipped away. The air between us thickened with unspoken desire. Mason lingered near, his breath calm and measured, yet the heat between us began to intensify. I felt an urge to shatter the stillness that enveloped us. Yet the words remained unspoken. As Mason shifted, he raised his head to meet my gaze. His gaze held a gentle warmth, stirring a blend of comfort and excitement within me. Though he remained silent, his eyes lingered on me, silently questioning whether all was well. I attempted to smile, yet it only deepened the weight of the silence surrounding us. Mason gleamed, lingering closely by my side. His face was warm and soft, as his fingertips caressed with a tender, lingering touch. A flicker ignited within me, something I found impossible to dismiss. I maintained a calm facade, concealing the tumult within as my heart raced at the thought of him. As we lay there, I whispered to myself that this was merely a mother offering solace to her son. In that hushed moment, just the two of us cocooned beneath the blanket, my thoughts swirled with a tantalizing allure that felt both forbidden and utterly irresistible. Mason appeared blissfully unaware of the turmoil brewing within me. He lingered close, his hand gliding gently, a soothing presence that stirred something deep within me. His breath flowed steadily, his eyelids fluttering softly in a world of dreams. I found myself pondering whether he was drifting into slumber. But then his hand glided, tracing a deliberate path up my arm. A thrill coursed through me as he opened his eyes, locking onto mine with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. His gaze held a question, a silent inquiry lingering between us, as if seeking permission for what was about to unfold. If he experienced the same intoxicating allure that captivated me. I breathed his name softly, my voice a mere caress in the air. I yearned to retreat, to establish a chasm between us, yet my body remained anchored, unable to escape the magnetic pull of your presence. The tension that lingered between us was palpable, akin to a silent tempest brewing just beneath the surface. In the stillness, we constructed a world of our own, where silence enveloped us, heavy with the weight of unexpressed desires. Emotions that lingered between us, unspoken yet palpable, as if they were the most instinctive truths we dared not voice. Mason drew nearer, the air thick with unspoken desires. My heart raced, a wild rhythm echoing in my chest, yet I found myself unable to retreat from the intoxicating pull of the moment. I found myself in a delicate dance, caught between the nurturing bond of motherhood and the unexpected stirrings of desire that had begun to awaken within me. As Mason leaned closer, a shiver of anticipation coursed through me. My breath caught, and all thoughts slipped away into the shadows. Departing, we were left with nothing but that fleeting moment shared between us, Masons. A hand lingered softly on my shoulder, a subtle connection that stirred something deep within. His fingers lingered, a tantalizing hesitation hanging in the air as the world around us faded into obscurity, leaving only my thoughts to dwell on. It was the intoxicating warmth of his presence, the rhythmic pulse of his heart that enveloped me, if only for a fleeting moment. I shut my eyes, seeking solace in the darkness, allowing the world to fade away for just a moment. I urged myself to retreat, to create distance from the intoxicating closeness that stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me. But then I felt Mason's hand softly glide upward, brushing a stray lock of hair away from my face. It was a seemingly innocent act of kindness, yet it stirred something deep within me, igniting a longing I couldn't quite grasp. I opened my eyes, and there he was, gazing at me with an intensity that stirred something deep within, a blend of tenderness and unspoken desire. His face hovered near, allowing me to take in every exquisite detail, the delicate freckles that danced across his skin, the soft arch of his lips, and the way his gaze delved into the depths of my own. In his gaze, I found a vulnerability that mirrored my own, a silent connection that danced on the edge of something forbidden. In that moment, I could sense he was as entranced as I was, both of us caught in a delicate stillness, suspended in a world that felt both forbidden and intoxicating. As time seemed to freeze, my thoughts spiraled into a tempest of questions and uncertainties, leaving me in a state of confusion, yet my body remained still, caught in a moment that felt both forbidden and intoxicating. In that moment, an undeniable pull enveloped me, a connection to the one I had nurtured, yet he seemed transformed, a stranger wrapped in familiarity. The silence between us stretched, heavy with unspoken possibilities, as if time itself dared not intrude. Mason drew back just a fraction, the air thick with unspoken tension. As the spell was broken, he averted his gaze, a hint of embarrassment coloring his cheeks, and released a nervous laugh while running his fingers through the nape of his neck. It pulled me from my reverie, awakening me to the intoxicating proximity we had shared. I inhaled slowly, attempting to steady the whirlwind of feelings swirling within me, praying he remained oblivious to my turmoil. "I apologize, Mother," he murmured, his voice laced with a hint of hesitation. I hadn't intended to bring justice to the peculiar situation I had created. He turned away, and I noticed a faint blush creeping onto his cheeks, as if he too was grappling with the same tangled emotions I once was. I longed to envelop him in warmth, to whisper sweet reassurances that all was well in our tangled world. Yet, the words lingered, caught in the depths of my being. Words eluded me, and for the first time in ages, an unsettling tension enveloped me in the presence of my own son. I extended my hand, gently resting it on his shoulder, a silent invitation lingering in the air between us. She offered him a subtle smile, a delicate gesture meant to dissolve the palpable tension between them. "It's all right, Mason," I murmured, my voice a gentle caress. "It's just that, well, for an eternity, it has been just the two of us, and perhaps now we find ourselves adrift in a sea of uncertainty." Mason nodded, and I caught a glimpse of relief flickering in his eyes, just as the tension began to dissolve between us. The doorbell chimed, its unexpected sound pulling us from our reverie, shattering the delicate moment we had woven together. A spell lingered in the air between us, and I rose abruptly, breaking the enchanting moment. My heart raced as I approached the door, a wave of gratitude washing over me for the unexpected interruption that awaited on the other side. I discovered our neighbor, Mark, lingering in the shadows. Mark had always exuded a warmth that drew others in, a charm that lingered just beneath the surface. A confidant, a presence I could lean on in moments of vulnerability. Hesmald. Yet his gaze held on to me, lingering just a moment longer than what felt customary. And I found myself still enveloped in that peculiar energy from that moment. With Mason, an unexpected wave of relief enveloped me, stirring emotions I had long kept at bay. In that fleeting instant, I surrendered to the allure of tranquility. My deepest gratitude, Mark. I responded with a knowing smile. In truth, the house carries a certain coolness that invites a lingering warmth between us. I would be truly grateful if you could take the time to properly attend to the heater's repair. As Mark entered the room, an electric tension filled the air, and I sensed Mason's gaze lingering on us from the shadows of the hallway. His expression a mystery, shrouded in unspoken desires. I cast a lingering look over my shoulder at him, and for a fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of something in his gaze, a spark that hinted at jealousy. Though he attempted to mask it, I was taken aback as I departed swiftly. I found myself pondering whether he was experiencing emotions deeper than he dared to acknowledge. Mark wandered about, adjusting the heater, his inquiries lingering in the air. She inquired about the atmosphere at home, and we engaged in a whispered conversation, sharing secrets that felt both intimate and forbidden. Yet, his gaze kept drifting toward Mason, who remained silent, observing us with an intensity that felt almost palpable. There was an unusual intensity in the air, a palpable tension that hinted at his unease. And it wove a tantalizing thread of tension into the fabric of their connection. Eventually, I retreated to my sanctuary, my dark muse. At the edge of the bed, I lingered, allowing the memories of our clandestine moments to wash over me once more. It was a truth I could no longer evade. Yet, I found myself uncertain about how to confront it. At that moment, a gentle knock echoed through the stillness of my room. My heart raced, a flutter of anticipation coursing through me as I pondered the possibility of Mason's return. Step inside, I beckoned, my voice a soft whisper laced with anticipation. Unwavering, John slowly pushed the door open, crossing the threshold into the dimly lit room, where the air was thick with unspoken desires. His expression a mystery, shrouded in unspoken desires. He approached and settled beside me, an unspoken tension lingering in the air. Beside me, he gazed at his hands, and we lingered in a quiet moment, the air thick with unspoken words. They bear the weight of all that is unspoken, entwined with the essence of a mother's love. He finally began to find his voice, almost as if it were a secret waiting to be whispered in the stillness of the night. A soft murmur escapes my lips, uncertainty swirling in the air around us. I apologize if my earlier words created an unexpected tension between us. He faltered, his words hanging in the air, as if caught in a delicate dance of hesitation. I rested my hand on his, allowing my fingers to linger as I offered a soft, lingering squeeze. Mason, it's perfectly all right. We find ourselves in a delicate dance. Perhaps we find ourselves wandering in the shadows of uncertainty at this moment. For what feels like an eternity, the scales of justice have swayed, leaving a trail of confusion in their wake. He nodded, his eyes lingering on his hands, lost in a world of unspoken desires. Then he lifted his gaze to meet mine. His gaze was a tapestry of unspoken feelings, each glance revealing a depth that stirred the air between them. The meaning eluded me, shrouded in an enticing mystery. "It feels different," she whispered, her voice laced with an intimate allure. It was as though he feared the truth would slip from his lips. I was unaware of the origins of Tor. For a fleeting moment, I sensed my heart echoing that same tumultuous ache, a blend of longing and uncertainty that stirred deep within me. I contemplated the idea of drawing him close, whispering sweet assurances that all would be well. Yet, I found myself questioning whether it was truly what he desired, or if it would only weave a more intricate web of complications between us. Instead, I found myself enveloped in the stillness, allowing the silence to linger between us. Whisper our desires into the night. At last, I inhaled deeply, allowing my gaze to linger in the depths of his eyes. "Mason, perhaps it's time for us to pause and reflect on everything that has transpired between us." I whispered softly. It's perfectly natural to embrace that intimacy. Yet, it's perfectly acceptable to seek a moment of solitude to unravel the complexities within. And nodded with a deliberate grace. In a moment that caught me off guard, He rested his head gently on my shoulder, as he did in the days of his youth. It enveloped me in warmth, a sense of intimacy that stirred something deep within. Yet there lingered an intriguing allure that I found impossible to resist. In that moment, my heart melted, and I drew him near, wrapping my arm around him in an intimate embrace. There was a comforting warmth in that moment, despite the unspoken questions lingering between us, a tantalizing mystery that had been absent for far too long. Perhaps it was enough to embrace the uncertainty, to linger in the moment without the need for immediate clarity. We might explore this journey slowly, unraveling the mysteries of our connection as we go. Despite the complexity of the moment, we remained entwined, savoring the warmth of our embrace. A soothing tranquility enveloped me, a whispered longing that, against all odds, we would navigate the shadows together. In that intimate silence, we lingered, savoring the closeness that enveloped us, as if the tangled emotions binding us could unravel simply by drawing near to one another. Yet, beneath the surface, I understood the truth that lingered in the shadows. It's as uncomplicated as that. The warmth that enveloped us was both a soothing embrace and a tantalizing disquiet, igniting a spark of something forbidden. There was an undeniable sensation lingering just beneath the surface, a magnetic pull that neither of us dared to overlook. After a while, Mason withdrew, his gaze lingering on me, a swirl of unspoken emotions dancing in his eyes. "I apologize," Mother whispered once more, her tone gentle and inviting. I offered a soft smile, hoping to ease his troubled heart. "It's perfectly fine." "Very well, Mason. We will navigate this journey hand in hand."